Here are 5 things you can do to get more from your cold calling. Hey, my name is Rob Spence, the Managing Director of Paragon Sales Solutions. And before we go on, listen, congratulations and well done for utilising cold calling as part of your sales and your marketing strategy. Round of applause. Cold calling is a great way to grow your business. I don't care what size of business you are, I don't care what sector you're in, I don't care who you're trying to sell to. Cold calling is still very, very effective. Yes, so are loads of other methods, but cold calling is awesome, so well done. And in this video, I've got 5 simple things that you can put into place today to make the most of your cold calling. So whether that you're doing it yourself and you're a business owner and you're making calls every single day yourself, or perhaps you've got a team making your calls for you, share this video with your team because this will help them to sell more. Before we do go on, however, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button depending on where you're watching the video, and drop us a like and potentially a comment as well. That'll be awesome. Thank you so much. So, as I said earlier, cold calling is a great way to grow and develop any business, but it can also be a tricky thing to do. Cold calling is a very emotive task. It's hard work, it's full of rejection, and if you don't do it right, it can be a waste of time. And I'm hoping these 5 steps are going to truly help you. So without further ado, let's jump in. So tip number 1 is to research your prospects. Whenever you're making cold calling, and it can be very easy when let's say you've got an Excel spreadsheet and you're just calling one after the other, it can be very tempting just to do what I just said there, call one after the other. What we always recommend to do is research the prospects you are calling. Take the additional minute or 2 to have a look on their website, have a look on LinkedIn, research the company as a whole and try and get a grasp as to who it is you should be speaking to. Now, depending on what you sell, you will normally get a bit of an indication as to who your normal decision maker is, whether it's the HR director, whether it's the finance director. Look on LinkedIn, look on their website, check out the About Us. You then know whom to ask for, and you know whether you think that they're going to be a receptive person or not. So do your research beforehand. The second step, or the second tip, is to have a great script. Now, I hate robots, and we don't want to turn you into, Phoebe from that Friends episode where she's trying to sell ink toner, wasn't it, I think? However, we call our scripts a flow. A good flow will allow you to stay on track throughout the conversation. It will help to answer any key questions. And if for whatever reason the conversation gets lost, you know where to fall back from. I'm not saying have a script where you say, hello, my name is Rob and I'm here to sell you telemarketing services. But it allows you to have a guide, a map, if you wish. Now, always be prepared to handle objections. If you're making cold calls, I'm sure and I hope you're not trying to make a sale on that first cold call, but you're still going to have objections for whatever it is you're trying to get out of that call. Whether you're trying to gather email addresses, whether you're trying to set appointments, you're going to hear objections. Be ready to face them. So before you pick up the phone and when you're writing your script, think of the most common objections you're ever going to face. And listen, if you're then faced with new objections throughout the day, make a note of them, think of ways around them. It's as simple as that. Technology can truly help you when it comes to cold calling. Now, there's loads of apps and technology to use when cold calling. Various data scrapers, obviously VoIP systems, CRM systems. Use technology that's always going to speed things up. Now, this is probably a more in-depth consultancy conversation that we just obviously can't have right now. If you do want to discuss the technology to use for cold calling, or perhaps you're looking for a team and an agency to do your cold calling for you, drop us a message or head on over to paragonsalessolutions.co.uk. You'll learn about our award-winning telemarketing and lead generation services, or booking for a free consultation with me and we can discuss technology in more depth. But be willing to use it, be willing to practice and refine that technology. And finally, always remember that you must follow up with these people you speak to. One cold call is not going to make you a millionaire. One cold call is not going to get you a customer. That cold call is one step out of maybe 7 to 12 steps. So follow up with your prospects, make a telephone call, send an email, connect on LinkedIn, maybe make another telephone call, send some direct mail, whatever it takes. The cold call is not the be all and end all. The cold call is the glue that holds everything together, or the telemarketing as a whole. So always bear that in mind. Now there's 5 simple things you can do to improve your cold calling. As I alluded to earlier on, if you do need an award-winning team to make your calls on your behalf, whether it's cold calling or following up on your leads or calling an old database, get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. I hope these tips help. If you've got any other cold calling tips you want to share, drop a comment below. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next week, all the best.